Good afternoon. I'll be your commentator for today. It's been suggested that commentary makes the video a little bit more interesting to watch, so I'll be Darren. I'm Darren. I will be Darren. Good start. So, today's opposition is Nieuwegein. They are just under the table with respect to Thor by a margin of 4 points. First in the table is Ameland. They still lead by 6 points. And following Nieuwegein are Diok and LSRG, who are tied for 4th/5th place. An important game today. It always is an important game when we play Nieuwegein. And the team just starting with their chance now. As obscene as ever. So, looks like we're off to a good start with our singing. But as I was saying, Nieuwegein are usually a very important game to win. Not only because we play them at crucial points in the season, but because they are an opposition that can disrupt things, to put things lightly. In the last couple of seasons, they've been a little bit troublesome with our standing on the table. Our referee for today is Antoine Mains. I hope I've pronounced his name right. And he'll be getting the game underway in just a few seconds. Today is slightly colder, though not as brisk as it has been, with a real feel of 3 degrees. So Dortje have kicked it off here, and it's been collected by Inigo, who goes into contact with plenty of people behind him to support him. Thor secure the ball nicely, and it's shifted out to Lars, who shovels it on to Bas, who drives it hard through 2 men, and he's well supported as well. Rutger to Bob now, and Bob runs it in. And now they go wide to the back line, who get it out all the way to the wing with Francis, and he sprints around the side, ships it around, and this could be a very interesting point in the game, but it's booted through by the Nieuwegein defense. So nice pressure by Thor. It's a very good start, and we'll have a scrum on the 5 for Thor because of that kicking out. So hopefully a good scrum by Thor. They've been quite strong in recent weeks, though perhaps last match was a little bit disappointing. They might have expected to push Delft back a little bit more, but Nieuwegein's a very different opponent, and we'll see how the scrums play out in this match. Bob's with the put in. And they are on the back foot, and it's not a nice ball at all for Bobs, who just misses the ball, but it's picked up by Inigo. The referee's seen something here, however, and he is calling a foul of scrum for Dortje this time. And Dortje still under some pressure, though less pressure than a few moments ago. Thor would like a big scrum here. To apply a lot of pressure to Nieuwegein in the first few minutes of this game. Nieuwegein get the ball out easily enough, and it's been chipped up, but it's gone nowhere near as far as he wanted it to. And it's been picked up by Inigo again, who goes down at about the 20 or so. And Bob gets the ball, gets a nice carry, goes through 1 tackle, and is finally brought down. He's got plenty of support, but the Nieuwegein have been called for a foul, and it's going to be an offensive penalty. Lars takes it quickly, shifts it out to Bas. Bas runs it hard into his opposite man, and it's collected by Babs, who shovels it back to Iris. But it's been lost here, I think. Losing. So Dortje get another chance to kick it out. It goes a little bit better than previously, but Paul's got the ball. He's quite fast on his feet, and he's got people outside him. He chooses to go on the outside. Wouter tries the boot, but it's unluckily deflected by the defense, and it's going to go out here for Thor. One thing that has to be said is that Thor has been consistently good in their lineouts all year, and often win the ball, and sometimes even win the ball from the opposite team when they have a lineout. So that's been quite good this season. A little bit more consistent than the scrums. I have to do something up here. People already complaining at my commentary. So, a nice maul by Thor, who makes some distance. It's very good work by the forwards. The coach calls to keep it going. Maybe they could have gone a few more meters, but it's shifted out to the back line, who run it hard. That's definitely a high tackle, but the referee's seen it. He's playing advantage, and Wouter is driven back slightly, though still makes a gain. Not the cleanest balls for Rutger, but he gets it out easily enough and shifts it to his fly half before it's taken by Marloes, who looks for the offload, but no one's there. And good support by his friends behind him. Boss now running hard at the line, but he doesn't go too far. It's going to be another ball for Rutger, who chooses to go out to the blind side and keep it running through Heine, who makes a few more meters, and they shift it back for another forwards ball. Bob tried to offload it there. It wasn't too clean, but it's gone backwards. Good decision making there by Rickard, who's made an absolutely great impact on Thor's game in recent weeks. Unfortunately, there is a foul, and it's going to be a scrum for Nieuwegein.
Where do we go? Where was he running? Let's go!
So far, the intentions are good, but they could be a little bit more thought out. This opinion is shared by the coach.
Come on, Bobby, get those shoulders strong,
And the coach calling for a big scrum now against Nieuwegein. Seemingly, the referee has a few adjustments that he'd like made. We're waiting for one Nieuwegein man to tie his shoes. So, scrum should be underway in any moment. And here's the nod from the referee. The ball goes in, and it's secured well enough by Nieuwegein, who shifted out to their back line, who kick it. They're trying to put a little bit of pressure on Thor's defense. It bounces, it doesn't go out, and it's Paul has the ball. He's chosen not to kick, and he gets around his man, and he gets it to Wouter, who's been on his side, and Wouter shifts it to Geert. Geert runs it a few meters. It's a good gain, up to about the 40, and there's been a little chip by Lars, whose ball is collected, and it's a nice strong tackle by Bob, who's really sent a good message to his opposite man, who's a little bit slow to get up. And Geert navigates beautifully around the side, misses another tackle, and offloads it to Inigo, who offloads it to Paul, but unfortunately it ricochets off his chest, and the referee's now playing advantage for Nieuwegein. Nieuwegein run it hard, and they've got men on the outside, and they slip another tackle, and it looks like a good tackle by Lars there, Iris, who's probably saved the early try from Nieuwegein, and it's going to be a line-out throw for Thor. Quite an important tackle. So, hopefully the commentator's curse will not apply, and Thor will secure this ball easily enough to relieve some of the pressure. And sure enough, it goes to the hands of Niels quite well. And we get a nice little maul going. Rutger is calling for the ball. It's not gone quite according to plan, however. And it looks like Nieuwegein, no, still a Thor ball. And Lars boots it up and it goes past the winger. It's carefully collected up by Nieuwegein's 15, who shifts it out and it goes forward. This could be an advantage for Thor, but it was chipped up and no advantage was to be played anymore. So we'll have a scrum for Thor due to the knock-on. The referee with the nod. Nope, he doesn't like how the scrum was formed, and he's got a few pointers for both sides. Starting today is Wouter Max, who's in the one of the prop positions. This is his first start for the first team. He's made quite an impression already. A young hond from this year, only started playing a few months ago. But very ambitious, always eager to learn. Someone that a lot of the other young honden could definitely look up to. He's got a great attitude towards the sport and definitely cares about the team and how the game's going. So here's the put in from Rutger, and he gets it out under some pressure, but he gets it away quite nicely to Iris, I must say. He had pressure coming from both sides of the scrum, and Iris has again chosen to chip it, chosen to put some pressure on Nieuwegein, but we did miss a few tackles, and it has to be said that in such a kick you really cannot miss the tackle. So Truus has collected the return kick from Nieuwegein, made some meters, and goes down with plenty of support there. Rutger has some time to pass it out to his number 10, who gets the ball to Ricard. The ruck was a little slow, but they were rucked away easily enough. Marloes now with the ball after a ball from Iris, and a wide ball to Paul now, who slips through some men and sees the space on the outside and his teammates beside him. The referee has decided that it's gone forward, however, and it's going to be a scrum for Nieuwegein. Unfortunate that. So the ambition, the want to win is there. That's pretty okay. However, it's probably fair to say that we can't miss that many tackles, especially when we chip it ahead and want to put pressure on the Nieuwegein defense. And the balls need to be a little less panicky when on offense. The scrum is quite stable. Nieuwegein are probably quite happy with their scrum, and it comes out easily enough for them and goes to their back line. The offload continues, and that's a sloppy pass there to try and continue the play, but it gets away nevertheless, and the Nieuwegein man with quite a good handoff, but he's tackled solidly by Paul, and the ball's out. A lot of pressure, actually, and that's definitely, I think, gone forward. But I don't think the referee was in any position to see it. Neither am I, in all fairness. And a sneaky little pass through the legs around the side. That has definitely been practiced on the training field a few times. Quite a smart play there. They make a few meters, but there's a knock-on for Nieuwegein, I believe. Nieuwegein happy with the pressure that they're applying to Thor. They're in good opposition. They know what they're doing. And in recent games they've really managed to push our emotional buttons, which has not worked out for us, but hopefully the team knows what to expect and can deliver today. We all really want this game, and I'm sure our boys will give it the utmost. So it comes out of the scrum for Nieuwegein, who on the reverse pass get it to their number 15. Quite a rapid runner. He's got good amount of pace, and they cycle it back to the opposite side. A few more tackles go slip. I think we could do with going in a little bit lower. And a good tackle by Inigo, though a few meters are still made after the tackle, and a hard run by their big forward there. But it looks like Thor have almost managed to secure the ball. Indeed, it is a foul, and Thor will have some more breathing space and a little bit less pressure. So Lars looking to kick it far enough here without it not going out. My apologies for the double negative there. And he goes to his boot. I don't think it's gone quite far enough. It's really on the edge and it's tapped in. Bit of a volleyball hit, but Geert is there to pick it up. My apologies for the late pan. And it goes to Rickard, who creeps around the outside, but the referee's seen something again here, and it's going to be a penalty against Thor this time, who quickly get back 10 meters. And doesn't look like Nieuwegein are going to go for the quick tap. They're thinking something up, and they choose to go for the posts. So this could be an early 3 points for Nieuwegein, which I think in this game every point's going to matter. Not the easiest of kicks, not the hardest of kicks, but it's a little off to the side. Waiting for the tee. And Thor set up around the posts, watching for any possible deflections or so the man from Nieuwegein, the 10, lines up, takes his time. It's 16 minutes gone now. A little bit less. And it's a high kick. The posts are not very tall here, but it hasn't gone out, nor has it gone in. Therefore, it's a Thor's ball, and they can really run it hard on the side here and set up for a future. I don't know what's gone on there. Missed that entirely. Looks like it was kicked in the ruck as it came out, crossing, and it's going to be a penalty for Thor. Lars lines up. He's going to try to get the most amount. Yeah, and it goes out quite safely. He's made about 50 meters here. And it's going to be a line out for Thor with a little more breathing room than previous. So the ball is finally retrieved and delivered to Rickard, who lines up, listens for the call. And a nice fake by the first jumper, and Niels goes up a second jumper, but it's overthrown just too much, and it goes to the Nieuwegein side, who shovel it quickly to their opposite line. They're very good at getting it wide, and I don't know why he's decided to chip it there. He probably could have run it. Didn't need to go for the fancy chip, and so Nieuwegein have lost the ball now, and it's going for Thor, and a nice strong run by Bob, who's still on his feet, and it takes 3 or 4 men to take him down. Another beast run by Bob. Nice, always nice to see that. And on the shoulder is Truus, who nicely steps and runs through a tackle, even stops and pushes off in the handoff and scores a beautiful try. Fantastic individual effort from Truus, but to be honest, it was a team effort. He was there on the shoulder for Boss, who was aware of his presence and offloaded at just the right time, and that's a fantastic, much needed first try for Thor. We'll be very happy with that one. A lot of elements that Thor had been working on for the last month or so at training, being on the shoulder, being ready for the offloads and running the angles. So that was a great individual effort by the captain, Truus. Geert now lines up and quickly slots it in. He's got a fantastic kicking percentage over the last couple of seasons, easily set over 75%. I would definitely guess, maybe even a bit more. So that's another one to add to his tally. And Nieuwegein will be eager to equal the score, but it's important that Thor's defense will hold. So a nice start for Thor, an important start for Thor, and we'll see if we can hang on. So it's quite a good kickoff, nice and high, that doesn't go too far, but it's well taken by Boss, who doesn't seem to be troubled by the pressure at all. Bobs gets it out to Iris, and Iris to Ricard, who is always present, and he pops it to Marloes at the last minute, and Marloes is able to make another 5 to 10 meters. So Iris with the ball again, he gets it to the back line. We've got the overlap here, and Wouter right on the angle, and he runs right past his man, and he's running hard, and he could have probably kept going, but in all fairness, he felt the hands around him, so it was wise to offload it. Unfortunate that it didn't work out, but was a really, really good intention by the back line to do as they did. So much better than the initial minutes. First 10 minutes lacked a little bit of thought. Looks like we've got an injury, perhaps. On the Nieuwegein side, and the medical man from Nieuwegein runs over to assess the damage done to his player. Looks like he's hurt his wrist or dislocated something. More news on that later. So, a short intermission here. And yes, Nieuwegein are going to substitute their player, and they don't have many substitutes today. In fact, I think they might only have one, which will definitely be to Thor's advantage. Thor has a couple of substitutes today. Also on the sidelines is the captain's brother, Joop, who we're happy to see is back on his feet. He suffered a bit of an injury a few weeks ago with a fractured ankle. Hey Joop! How you doing? You were walking around? Yeah, that was quick. No cast or anything? Okay. All right. How many weeks? 4 weeks. And a nice little annoying tap by Rutger, who gets around the side and annoys his opposite 9, which is great because I think Nieuwegein are generally frustrated that Thor have managed to score points here. So any added extracurricular activities like that are probably going to be in Thor's favour. Nieuwegein, though, do manage to make quite a few meters, and Thor did sort of go high here. So Nieuwegein have managed to make a few meters, and it comes out and pick and go around the side by the big man from Nieuwegein. He really is rather jolly, and a big tackle there by Niels, who lifts and drives his player back a few meters. Really nice to see that, bringing the physicality, sending a clear message to the Nieuwegein opposition. We're just over 20 minutes now in the first half, and Nieuwegein put on their ass there by Thor, and it's been chipped over, but probably not as far as he'd like. Nieuwegein do have the ball, well tackled by Bob, and though it did get back to Nieuwegein, but he's now lost it. My apologies for the late pan. And it ricochets off Wouter's hand and knee, unfortunately, so it's going to be a knock-on for Nieuwegein. That's unfortunate, because had he got the ball, he probably would have been in some space and been able to, again, put Nieuwegein under substantial pressure and maybe even score a try. So, almost knocked over the camera there. Mad camera skills. Up in the booth. Hopefully after Christmas we'll have the new camera system, which will provide a bit more smoother coverage of our games. More on that later. And it's a solid scrum by Thor, who are not shifted back at all. It's been picked up by Truus, and through Truus to Iris, who gets it to his back line, and continues to go down, but it looked like Wouter was not aware of exactly where Heine was, who was deeper than he expected. So unfortunately the ball has now gone out, though seemingly before that the referee was playing advantage, so we're going to come back for a scrum. And it's going to be for Thor, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, my apologies. The scrum will be for Nieuwegein, apparently. It's important that we keep our defensive structure here and hang on to our lead and extend it. Captain Obvious strikes again, I suppose. I think that's always the case. But anyway, perhaps especially important against a team like Nieuwegein. And they're dragged down. The ball comes loose again. It's happened quite frequently. The back line, a few of their players, when they tend to go down, they tend to drop the ball. Shouldn't speak too soon. We have that problem as well. It's going to be a knock-on for Thor. Double knock-on, but the first knock-on was by Nieuwegein, so it's going to be Thor's ball now. So, Rutger ready for the put-in. The scrum sets itself, he's happy, gets a tap on the back, Rutger puts it in. It kind of doesn't go far into the scrum, so he's got a lot of pressure here around the side, but he gets it away to Iris easily enough, who again goes for the chip. And hopefully we can simply make our tackle now. A bit of a weird cross kick, which has would have worked out for Thor had we caught the ball. Thor's ball, Wouter with the reception, with the pickup, and he runs through a few men. Nice hard run by him, but apparently he held on. I don't agree with that call, but well, at least he spotted the overzealous nature of Nieuwegein's quick tap, and they'll have to come back to the penalty spot and take their penalty properly. In all fairness to the ref, it happened quite quickly and he had the better view of it, so probably should give credit to him. And the ball goes out, and it's going to be Nieuwegein's throw-in. Will Thor be able to steal the ball? We have in the past. It wouldn't be out of this world if we were to secure the ball. We'll see. The hooker lines up next to the flag, and right on Thor's 22. Call comes through, and the first jumper goes up, and Niels is there to secure it, taps it back, and it's beautifully taken by Rutger, whose kick has been batted down, and Rutger is there to make the tackle. The ball comes loose. Marloes is there, and he hops around the tackle, and he's got Heine next to him, who manages to just grab onto the ball. A little juggle, quite exciting there. No dropping, and Bos knew that Ricard was beside him. Ricard looked for the offload, knew that no one was there, and took it in. And the coach now calling for the 90 ball, but it's taken up by Wouter, the new forward. And the ball comes loose, but the referee's seen something. It's been a knock-on, and it's going to be a scrum down for Thor, so it's not over yet. Thor will need a strong scrum and a clean ball out for Rutger if we want to get it out to our backline. A very, very good passage of play there in broken play by that started, I suppose, with Heine's catch, I suppose. Quite a good last few minutes for Thor. Nieuwegein have not looked at all confident, so they seem to have been shaken up a little bit by our early lead. I don't think I have to remind anybody that I'm an unbiased commentator, or that I am actually quite biased. Not exactly a wordsmith, but I am an engineer. And Wouter gets the angle, and it's a beautiful one, and Thor score their second try. Brilliant by the gents, though Wouter's a little slow to get up, but he's alright. He's going to keep playing. Very, very good, important second try by Thor. I don't know if you can climb up here, but well, anyway. Nice try, man. Hey. And little technical Geert with the kick, and he slots it in again, and it's good. And he adds another one to his tally of many over the season. As I said, Wouter has a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction. It seems that his shoe has been ripped open. The whole toe has been exposed. But nothing that a bit of tape won't fix. Still, hopefully you won't get stepped on. That could be quite ugly, especially with the fat bastard on the Nieuwegein side, if you pardon my French. He really is quite jolly. You know, it is quite soon in Christmas, and he is in red. Jolly is the adjective that I will use. So, bitchiness aside, it's been kicked off again and restarted by Nieuwegein, and Marloes easily catches it and dances around the Nieuwegein side and hangs on to the ball, presents it for his team. The rock is solid, and Bobs gets it out to his number 10 easily enough. A little wrestle with the two big men on either side there, Bos and Santa Claus, and it's nicely taken around the side from Geert to Paul, and Paul sees the space. Nieuwegein was there, but Heine unfortunately had a very fast ball to catch and couldn't quite make it, unfortunately. Nieuwegein still under a huge amount of pressure there behind their try line now, and he's running behind the post and desperately tries to get it away, but it has been knocked down. It's been charged down by Thor, and Rickard gets it, and I wouldn't say it's a knock-on actually. And a few extracurricular activities by Wouter bring the physicality to the game and sending a nice clear message to that back man from Nieuwegein, who has really not been able to play in the last few minutes, and he is a key player for them. And Wouter's shoe is still not fixed. They have the tape ready. Next stoppage time they'll fix his shoe. The old engineering philosophy of, is it moving? Yes, no. Should it move? Yes, no. If no, use duct tape. Great rule of thumb for life. And if it should move, use WD-40. And it's been kicked out by Nieuwegein and fielded by Paul, who has Francis running alongside him and would have been ready for a charge, but Paul slips past his man easily enough, but unfortunately the pass is a little too flat, and it'll be scrum for Thor. A little miscommunication there between the sideman and the referee. Wouter now quickly fixing his shoe with some duct tape, medical tape even. Very good second half to this first half by Thor, really. Took a while to get a measure of the opponents and figure out how to play, but we've done so early enough, and we've got a good chance to winning this game. A nice 14-point lead. And the jumper goes up. The referee does not like what Nieuwegein were trying to do. A little bit out of sync with their throw. And Nieuwegein get the opportunity to try to get. Call comes through. They decide to go through a shifting first jumper. Pressure is not there for Thor. I think Nieuwegein have smartly realized that Thor is particularly good in the line out, and therefore they're trying to get their jumper between the first and second jumpers of Thor as quickly as they can to avoid having any competition. That's a good sign, really, because they can easily slip up and Thor can get the ball. Anyway, it's been turned over, and the ball goes to Bob, who runs it hard, and the ball's shifted out to Wouter, and Wouter he sees the angle beautifully, and he has a nice sprint, and he probably could have kept going, but he pops it up to Bos. He keeps it alive. A great run by the new forward there, and Bos gets tackled just short of the line. Bob runs it really hard and is taken down by Santa Claus, and it's going to be a pretty clean ball, and it looked like Nieuwegein were offside there, but no trouble. It gets to Wouter, and Wouter gets it to Heine, and Heine runs it in for the try, and he gets it as close as he can. And that's a third try for Thor. That's a brilliant start to the game, a very important start. So we need to keep our composure and keep on with this very good lead. Nieuwegein are probably kicking themselves because they are better than this. They really are. They're not a bad team. But Thor are really sticking to their game plan, and they've been hands down the better team so far, with the exception of maybe the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game. That was a wonderful try with a great break from Wouter Max, who should be really happy with how he ran there. It's just experience that will finish it off for him and allow him to score. Just a little bit of experience. Unfortunately, Geert didn't quite make this one. He did have quite a bit of an angle, and the sticks, as I said before, are not very long, so not much to yeah, it's got to be a little bit more difficult than when they're normally sized, but that's how it goes. Nieuwegein ready to restart the game here by the referee's whistle. They look like they've had a bit of a chat behind their line, and they're probably eager to put some points on the board before halftime so that they can have a chance at having a comeback, but hopefully Thor can deny them of this opportunity. It's been a good starting kick, which has gone high and not too far by Nieuwegein, but it's secured, and it goes to Bob, who runs it hard, and he's got men. The ruck probably could have gone a little bit better, but no matter. Secured, and Geert chips it back to their number 15. As I said, a key player, but he's really not having a good start to the game, and he shows his frustration, and that is good for Thor, because yeah, he's a key player, so it's important that we keep him out of the game, as we have been doing. So far, when he's had the ball, he's felt very under pressure by the quickly moving defensive line. And in addition to that, he probably knows that he's missed a few tackles, some important ones when we've scored. So we're winning the mental game. And yeah, I'm just blabbing. So. And Rutger gets the knock, but it comes straight out, and the referee's not happy with that. We'll have a reset here for Thor. Hard to see whose foot kicked it out again, but we'll get another opportunity. And it is kicked again, and I think there might have been a funny use of feet by Nieuwegein, and oh, good pressure there, and it's pilfered by Lars, who steals the ball with a really good sense of what to do there. A good teamwork between Niels and Lars. Niels making sure that he had someone behind him, and but then cleared him out and had the ball accessible for Lars, who was quick to jump in there and get it. And it's hopefully a quick tap and go here by Lars, but the referee's not happy, and he's going to have a word with the man from Dortje, who gets a final warning by the looks of it, who's been told to tidy up his game. So Lars still decides to go for the quick tap, probably a good idea. Ricard unfortunately loses the ball, and it looks like it's gone forward. Referee's playing advantage here for Dortje, who have men on the outside, but not a lot of space, and it's a desperate little flick there by the back man. That hasn't worked at all well. Dortje still with the ball, however, and their 10 flicks it out very wide to the back line. A funny sort of reversal there, a bit of a miscommunication. It goes to the boot, and well fielded. It went straight out, so it should be back on the fall, but the referee hasn't spotted it or thinks it's been bounced. And it's going to be a throw-in for Thor. So, it's been knocked on, and it's going to be a scrum down for Nieuwegein.
You're awesome at this, Darren. You're fucking awesome at this.
I don't think so. I'm just bored.
I definitely know so. I've been listening for 5 minutes now. And this is good stuff. Can't wait to watch it.
Awesome. Well, hopefully it will be a little bit more watchable. I'm just going to call short.
Yeah, also, this fucking thing is great, man.
Yeah, dude. I like this. So I'm not going to commentate just for now. I'm on a phone call, but I will try to continue to film. Obviously, because the camera's moving. Pick up. Meh, whatever. So, the referee's seen something quite serious. One of the men from Nieuwegein is very slow to get up and does not look at all comfortable. It's the same man that the referee had a word with previously, and he's not at all happy. He's having a word with the captains. By the way, in that line out a few minutes ago, I suggested that Niels tapped the ball. I believe it was actually Truus. I got mixed up with the scrum caps. Hey, Tico. And it shouldn't be long now to the end of the first half, probably the last action. The seemingly injured man is back on his feet. He seems to be alright in the end. So he's in the scrum there somewhere, and the referee has spotted some extracurricular illegal usage of the feet. So it's Thor's penalty, and Boss quickly goes and gets it to Bob, who runs it hard. Santa Claus there again. I feel bad for calling him Santa Claus, but you know, we need that Christmas spirit, so I'll just continue to do that. And Wouter stuffs them in the face, and a big contact, very awkward looking at the end there. I hope I got it on camera. Both men went in quite upright, and there was a bit of contact, but both seemed to get up okay. And the backline's calling for a 90 ball left, but it's a bit slow. Sasha out! And Wouter scores the try. It looks, he's just short. And the referee sees something, and it's going to be halftime. Oh? No, my apologies. I've been a bit too hasty. It's Thor's ball. They have a penalty. We've not chosen to go for the sticks. We've chosen for... Or have we gone for this? No. So we've not chosen to go for the sticks. We're going to run it hard at the opposition. Not going to risk kicking it out and ending the game. I'm actually not sure if that would be legal, seeing as it's a penalty. But in any case, it goes to Lars. Lars to Boss. Boss runs it hard, gets rid of a couple of men, makes a few meters, and Bobs gets to Iris. Iris to Rickard, and it's just lost. It's a shame that there's been a knock on, and it's going to be half time there. It would have been nice to have an extra try there. So still some area for improvement, but overall I have to say quite a decent overall start to Thor's game, especially if you compare it to the last game, also on YouTube. You can see that in the link here. but well, nevertheless, probably a few things to work on, and that's going to be gone over by Vimpy the coach. That's it for me from now, and I'll be back with the second half. So the second half will be underway very shortly. Vimpy's had a word with his men. Despite having a much better first half compared to the first game against Nieuwegein, there are still plenty of things that can get a little bit better. We are a better team. We do have a lot of potential. We've been saying this for the last couple of seasons, and if we want to live up to our expectations and our potential, we can play even better than this. But for now, it's been good. It's positive. A nice big margin between Thor and Nieuwegein, and Nieuwegein have not been able to score at all so far, whereas Thor have scored 4 at least. Maybe, no, 3 or 4. I should probably know this, but anyway. The second half goes underway. A couple of slip tackles, and Nieuwegein run it hard. They're eager to get back in the game and send a clear message at the start of this half. And they continue to drive forward, and Thor's a little bit on the back foot here, and Santa Claus bounces Boss off. But he eventually goes down, and he has plenty of support. Santa Claus number 2 comes around the corner, and how many Santa Clauses are there? Because they're in red, not because they're fat. Yeah, right. And a little hesitation there by the man in red. He gets rid of Geert, who unfortunately didn't quite connect as he probably would have liked. And the pick and go game continues from Nieuwegein. They're a big fan of the pick and go game. Of course, just as I say that, they pass the ball around. Nieuwegein managed to they're playing a lot better than they did at the end of the first half, but it's still a little sloppy, a little rough around the edges, so it's important that Thor does not let them back in the game. Their main man, the man with the yellow shoes, who was not able to play in the last half, is again denied the possibility, and he's going to be increasingly frustrated, which is really good for Thor, and Thor get it back, and they now have the chance to send a message straight back to Nieuwegein. They don't even choose to kick. We don't even choose to kick. We choose to run it hard. Send the message. Oh, but unfortunately the ball is jerked loose in contact. Bus isn't going to be too happy with that, but it does happen, and it's going to be a scrum down. You can expect him to scrum especially hard in this next one. Who's Hugh Hefner? The guy with the ball? He's either Hugh Hefner or Santa Claus. Don't know which one. Right. So, ball goes in. It's secured, but he is really bothered by Bobs, who came around the side and quite nicely annoyed the shit out of him. But Nieuwegein managed to keep it alive, if a bit rough around the edges. They don't really make too many meters. They tend to kind of make a few and then screw it up again once they drop the ball. But they're still in possession. Santa Claus runs it hard. He's had a good physical game so far. Oh, my bad. That's Santa Claus 2. My apologies. And it's a really, really sloppy, weird thing. And Marloes is tackled by an offside man of Nieuwegein. It goes unnoticed, but well, maybe we're playing advantage. I haven't been watching the ref or signals. It's been batted down by RC Delft, and that's definitely a knock-on. The ref has seen it, and we're going to come back for a scrum. The coach is told to contain himself and his emotions. Can't blame him. We really want this win. Nevertheless, Coach Vimpy was right in his diagnosis, and Lars makes a very good few extra meters out of that kick. He gets it nice and high and far, and it goes straight out of bounds, and nothing could be done by the man on the touchline. So it's going to be a penalty line out right inside the opponent's 22.
67, 82, 49,
The call comes through, and Niels goes up his second jumper. He's not bothered at all. They've given up trying to steal the ball from a Thor line out, and there's a lot of pressure going through that maul, but it comes out and it's just not there, and it's kicked through. Referee's seen something though, and we're coming back for another penalty. He's having a few more words with the Nieuwegein side. He's really not happy with how they're playing. You know what? I almost don't blame the Nieuwegein side, because when they play at home, they don't know how to play rugby. So it's not astonishing that when they get outside and they don't have the luxury of playing a home game, that they have a bit of difficulty. And I don't really mind saying that, because it's true. Even if it is a bit controversial. But I won't go into that much more. So, it's been secured by Nieuwegein and booted with a nice spiral kick down, and because he was inside the 22, it goes out at roughly the 30-meter line, just outside the 22, so maybe the 27-meter line, and it's going to be a line out for Thor. You have to question why, however, because Nieuwegein are never going to win the ball back. It's probably better to either kick it much deeper or hold on to the ball. More likely to make meters that way. Nevertheless, Thor go up for the ball. Nice, easy first jumper to Truus, who secures the ball, and we try to maul it forward, but it's not going anywhere, so it comes out, and Bobs shifts it to the back line. Wouter runs hard and high into his man, who also came in high, and Wouter, of course, wins that confrontation and makes a few more meters, and it goes out to Iris again, who gets the ball to Wouter Max, the new man, who's maybe caught a little bit high by Santa Claus, and it's going to be a penalty for Thor. Offside, I believe. And the referee's not happy with how that was taken. Scrum down, a Nieuwegein ball. I think it's fair to say that the referee would like a little bit more structure from both sides. He's been having a few words. He's been very good in his feedback to the players, I believe. Of course, I don't have the benefit of listening into those conversations, but at least he's attempting to communicate to them, making sure that they play a decent game, which is really great to see. And Rutger again getting around the side and putting pressure on his opposite 9, who gets it out to his 10, and the 10 managed to boot it out in a rather panicked way, and we get back roughly to the same line-out spot, maybe a few meters further, roughly the 30 or so mark, and it's going to be another line-out for Thor. Quite a few men in the line-out here. All the forwards are in. The call comes through, and Niels goes up. He collects it easily enough, and Thor trying to maul it forward. Rutger wrestling for the ball, but it pops out. It goes backwards. It's picked up by Rickard, who's very good actually in his coordination. Very coordinated indeed, in fact. And, you know, when the ball pops out and it's anywhere near him, he always seems to get his hands on and at least make sure not to knock it on. He's been very good in that in the past few games. Indeed, he's been named man of the match for several games this season already. Very well deserved as well. Anyhow, it's back to Rickard for another throw-in, this time at around the 22 of Nieuwegein. Thor have managed to be putting a good amount of pressure on Nieuwegein still. They've managed to sustain that quite well, but they probably could drive it home a little bit more efficiently. We'll see how this develops. Truus goes up, passes it down to his number 9. Good communication there between the two. Iris decides that there's space and the offload isn't a good option. He decides last minute to offload, but unfortunately it's a little too late, and it's going to Nieuwegein for the scrum. A little miscommunication there, but nothing that can't be overcome. And it'll be Nieuwegein's ball. As I've said several times, Nieuwegein have been quite strong in the scrum, but Rutger's been especially good at annoying their number 9. So let's see if he can do it again. He sets up around the side of the scrum. Doesn't quite get around as much as he would have liked. Good communication between the Nieuwegein scrum half and their outside man there. And it's going to be another line out for Thor, this time on the the halfway mark. So really slow progress here by Nieuwegein. It's really take some, lose some, and hope for the best for them. It's probably not going to be a good strategy for them to employ for the rest of the game. So unless they're trying to get a bit of a breather before really switching on in the next few minutes, you got to wonder why they've decided to approach it like this. Anyway, it is lost for one of the first times, though he was offside, perhaps. Difficult call to make. And Nieuwegein are really struggling to get any sort of momentum. It's really pick and go and hope for the best on a long run, which might work out to them sometimes, but it looks like the backs are ready for the long ball. Yes, indeed, it comes out and pivoted to the back line, who drops it, and good pressure, good defensive line speed by Thor, but they're not quite ready for the ball that popped out. A bit of a sloppy, underthought pass by their back line, and that key player that I've talked about a few times now is put under pressure again, and let's see how he deals with the pressure from Paul this time. Not very well. It is almost going straight out. Indeed, it goes straight out, and overall, in the last minute or so, Thor have managed to get from the halfway line in a line out to inside the 22. I really think it's key that that man in the yellow shoes doesn't play. I mean, he's not the only person in that whole team, but he's definitely a key player. And when he's not confident, when he can't play, it's quite obvious that the rest of the team can't play either. Wouter's had a very good game, and he's coming off now. He's being substituted. He's had a very good game indeed. Gets a pat on the back by Wimpy. Good job, Wouter Max. Nice, Wouter! Nice run, man, in the first half. Nice run in the first half. And it comes out, and...
Do you like your small little booth over there?
Sorry?
Do you like your booth over there?
Yeah, man. Love it. This is how you should spend every Sunday. Anyway, unfortunately that ball hadn't gone according to plan, but Wouter has pilfered the ball really nicely. The referee has seen a knock-on, however, and it is going to come back for Nieuwegein, but good physicality, good commitment by Thor there to drag the men down and pilfer the ball like that. Good skills, good skills at the breakdown. Really nice to see. Thor playing nicely and relaxed in their element so far. Probably could do to score just a little bit of, a couple more tries, obviously, and try and keep that clean sheet. We'll see whether or not that's possible for the whole game. Rutger tries to get around the side, and he does bother the 9, who scrambles around him, but then is taken down. It goes to the boot again. Great pressure by Thor. And it goes out just in front of the 50. So it's looking really competitive. I think the Nieuwegein has probably had quite a lot of possession so far, but they've really not been able to do shit with it. They really haven't. Every time it gets back, it gets to their backs, they've run out of space, or they don't know what to do, so they boot it, and that boot is usually under pressure, and no momentum can be built. And that's good, but Thor should also not be lulled into a false sense of security and stop playing. So it's nice to see that they're still pressing hard. It'd be nice if they could convert some of their efforts into some points. So here, Paul gets the ball around the side, and he makes a sneaky pass through his legs back to Rutger. And Rutger goes down. He's got plenty of people around him. Probably could have gone down in a slightly easier way for the ruck, but Ricard's there, and he runs hard, and he makes a lot of meters right there. And Paul is there for the try. Fantastic try, Paul. Oh, right when I say that we probably need a few more tries, we go ahead and score it right under the posts. Way to bring it to Nieuwegein, especially after last game. Paul should be really happy with that run. I really hope I caught it on camera. I have a feeling I might not have. But overall, fantastic job by the men in blue. Really fantastic. So Geert now lines up for his kick. He tends to be very quick. He simply takes his distance, has a look, and goes ahead. And this time's no different. And he slots it in with a lot of skill. And he converts yet again. So Thor with the possibility of winning with a bonus point here if they can keep things going as they have been doing. Nieuwegein look increasingly annoyed and unable to play. And that's really good to see. Karma. Boom. Recognize him? Yeah, I recognize him too. Not exactly an impartial ref last time. Let's just say that. Right. And up he goes, and Boss fields it, though it does bounce, and he's unable to get any momentum, and he's not released in the tackle, but nevertheless, Thor managed to secure the ball, hold on to it, get it to Ricard, and the referee has spotted something. It's going to be a scrum down for Nieuwegein. I missed that, I'm afraid. But probably can see it back on the video later. So this time, Rutger is not able to pester his number 9, who gets around the scrum, but isn't really able to do much with it. The backs, however, they've managed quite well down that side, and they are very close to the try line now. If they score now, that'll be unfortunate, because we're much more able. We're able to keep the clean sheet if we're fully focused, and there he is, Yellow Boots. Manages to score a very needed try for Nieuwegein. But it's not the end of the world. If Thor can just reflect on those last 2 minutes of play, they can probably fix a few things. And it has been suggested that something's been missed there by the touch refs, and that Nieuwegein maybe shouldn't have scored. If it's been missed by the touch refs, it was probably something very difficult to see by the ref himself. And he's not at all happy with that touch ref. The coach of Nieuwegein. I missed that. I think I'm going to try and figure out what that was. What happened there? Well, anyway, enough to focus on right here. And Nieuwegein are still being bastards. Don't know if the camera picked that up. But I have to agree with them. They, with an absence of good, refereeing like what we're having today, they might win because they've got no wish to play the ideal form of rugby, you know, the sport that we all know and love. But and when they have a referee who can see it, can see the things that they try to do, they can't play. They're taken out of the game, and that's what's happened here today. They're not unable. They just, you know, they exercise in the wrong way, and seemingly they're surprised when they go away and lose. But you know what? It's not always all. You know, it's definitely not all about the referee. It's also got to do with how much a team wants something and how well they work together to achieve it. So, well, in any case, it's going to be a line out here for Thor. I really am going to try and stop talking about referees home and away, especially the home Nieuwegein ref, who's on the field, bastard. And it's gone to the boot yet again under a lot of pressure, and it goes straight out, and it goes straight out at the 22. So Nieuwegein repeating themselves here. They may have scored, but they are still stuck in their sort of is this a game plan, or I don't know what this is, because they do get lucky every now and then and might profit from our mistakes, but you know what, they probably would need to change if they want to win this game and get back in. And just as I said that, Nieuwegein did steal the ball, but they did so illegally, and Rutger takes the ball quickly to Inigo, who runs it hard at Santa Claus. And the ball is presented, albeit a bit slow, to Rutger, who is under a lot of pressure there to get the ball away, and he gets a nasty little shot from his man. My apologies for the late plan. And the offload was there, but unfortunately Paul couldn't quite wrap his hands around it, and it's going to be an advantage for Thor. I actually missed the foul that the referee spotted, but maybe those of you at home can see it now, or just then. And Thor have got another penalty, and they're choosing to tap and go quickly again, and it's dropped by Marloes, and unfortunately that's gone forward. So it's going to be a scrum down. And if I had to guess, it's going to come out, and the 9's going to be pestered, and they're going to hastily kick it to the boot, and it's going to go out, and we're going to be anywhere between the 22 and the 50 again. But we'll see how this plays out. We'll see if I can really predict it. You know, that is if Nieuwegein don't change up how they've been playing over the last, over this whole half, and the whole of this, end of the first half. So here it is, comes out, goes to the boot, and this time they managed to chip it, and they've got a man chasing it this time. Inigo fields it and unfortunately loses it in contact. So that change is what was needed, and Nieuwegein make a few meters. So commentator's curse indeed. It's shifted out, they've got space, they've got the overlap, but it's Santa Claus and Santa Claus. So not a lot of pace to take advantage of the overlap there, and that's really been closed up. And they want to try and get him out, and they just managed to smuggle the ball away, but a huge amount of pressure there, and it's been knocked on by Nieuwegein, and it's going to be scrummed out.
3 more minutes, give it to all.
Crashing through the snow on a one-horse open sleigh. What's a good Santa Claus song? Of course, I could also just play a tuba. Boom, 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 boom. Nah, that's me. And then when he gets tackled, what the fuck? Right. Back to the game.
Close. Point. Set. Hold it, you guys. Hold it.
And it's stable enough. Nieuwegein have not really been able to push him back, and we play one of our set pieces, and Geert gets it on the switch, and oh yes, Ricard runs a really nice line, but the support's just a tad late. Unfortunately, the ball is lost in contact, and could have been something there, but Nieuwegein have the ball, and it's shoveled out, and they get it out to the side, and it's a bit of a messy offload, but it's an offload nevertheless. Good physicality by Nieuwegein, who've got a renewed sense of urgency or something, a desire to score, so they're playing a little bit better now. And just as I say that, they bounce past the ball. Yellow Shoes runs with the ball right in front of him quite nicely, and tries to flick it out the back there, Quade Cooper style, but it doesn't work out for him at all. And Nieuwegein secure the ball. It goes back to Francis, who's called for it, and to the boot, where it is not fielded by the 15, who misses an important ball. He doesn't have many people behind him either, and he's going to have to run this himself with a bunch of Thor people around him, ready for pilfering the ball. And unfortunately, yeah, we have managed to steal the ball, but there's been a knock-on scrum down for Nieuwegein. It's difficult to see from this angle. It may have been a bit of a holding on by the man on the ground from Nieuwegein. Then again, Thor might have been holding on in the tackle, and I honestly couldn't see that from this angle. Anyway, another 15 minutes left. Just 15 minutes. And then this important game will come to an end. But before that, Thor, protect the ball, shift it to Boss, who runs it hard at the line, and he gets it. Oh, and Inigo with the ball now. And a pick and go by Bob, and that's probably the right decision in this case, even though we've been trained never to pick and go. Oh, and it comes out. That is unfortunate. And although Nieuwegein might have the ball, they're behind their try line. The back three from Thor go down in readiness for the kick. Paul calls for the ball, but it looks like it might have been knocked on. Yes, it has. And it's going to be a scrum down for Nieuwegein. That is unfortunate. But it can happen to anybody. And I suppose. And it's going to be a scrum down. Voucher taping up his shoes again. They've opened up. Ricard is substituted for Adrian, and Ricard's had a great game indeed. And our favourite man from Nieuwegein is now traded for a fresh substitute. I say favourite. I mean favourite. Sarcasm. Right, scrum down for Nieuwegein. He gets the tap on the back and it goes in, and Thor really managed to put a shit ton of pressure, and Niels puts a huge amount of pressure on the number 9, who gets it to his back line, who again go for the boot. Again it's supported, but a brilliant chip by Francis, and he's gonna run and it stops. What a try by Francis! Oh my goodness, I can't believe I didn't film that. That is the most sensational thing. Oh, what a try. So for those who missed it, the ball went up. It was covered by the man in the yellow, and Francis knew exactly what was going on. The ball came down, and he just chipped it back right at them, and there was no one there to field it. Everybody was running up, and he just simply chipped it back into the dead ball, back to the try zone, and chased it, and got there first. Fantastic individual effort by Francis. That was absolutely perfect. And I'm gutted that I didn't get it all on camera. My sincerest apologies. That was fantastic. That was an absolute blast to watch. Well done, Francis, mate. I am not sure how much of this I've missed. A little explanation. Because this is a stills camera, the video automatically limits itself to 30 minutes, so I really hope I haven't missed that much. So we had a fantastic try by Francis. I hope we covered that bit, at least, where Deutsche were under an immense amount of pressure and in their own try area, and it went to the boot, and no, after a scrum, my apologies, and it went to the boot yet again, and it was chased by Yellow Shoes, and Francis knew exactly what was going on, and quite brilliantly chipped it right back, and everybody was offside, no one was left back to field, and he scored a fantastic individual try after running 40 meters in a really great sprint for the ball. Just fell on it and scored a fantastic try. So again, I don't know how much I've missed, but Nieuwegein kicked off, and it went backwards and forwards for a few meters, and now they have a scrum. And referee gives him the nod, and he puts the ball in, and Nieuwegein don't get the ball, and Thor managed to put them backwards, and Francis is there to fill in for Rutger, who is on the ground. Marloes takes it in, and Santa Claus smothers him, and Rutger gets it to Iris, who gets it to Geert, who gets it to Paul, who sees the gap and steps, and he's gone. What a try, and it's going to be another try. And they're pissed. And that's awesome to see, because guess what? We like that they're pissed. Rugby is all about getting in the opposite team's head, playing better than them, playing more physically, more mentally, and just having that upper edge, both physically and mentally. That's what I meant to say. And we've really managed to do that, with Francis's quick thinking, with Paul's great individual effort, just running the angles and being in the right place at the right time. Great game. Great game. We are very pleased here on the sidelines. And it goes off the post and in, and with quite a stylish conversion, here it converts. Yeah, I'm not a word poet, so deal with it. A word poet, a wordsmith. There. Point game. Yeah, I just keep digging myself a hole, but I say that should be expected of me. So, anyway, I don't know my sayings very well. That's the down, that is the, that's how the cookie crumbles. Right, Bobs is there for his man, and, apparently it's just dropped by Boss, who, chips it through. He knew what he'd done. Referee spots it though, and it's a knock-on for Nieuwegein. They may have one more opportunity for a consolation try. There's not too much time left in this half. I think most of it has gone, so 5 minutes tops. Yeah, about 5 minutes to go. And the referee's happy, he gives him the nod, and Thor, big scrum, wheel it around, and it comes out the other side really messily, and the pass is messy to boot, and Yellow Shoes just doesn't manage to get away from Inigo, who latches on to his shorts, and they're scrambling around like crazy. They're under a huge amount of pressure, as they have been all game, and try to run it down the side, don't get too far, but they still have the ball. They try the pick and go, and don't get them anywhere, and Wouter has the ball, and he makes some distance, and his teammates are there to help. And Nieuwegein managed to get that somewhere in that passage of play. Paul receives the kick, chips it into space in a very good position actually, and he screwed up, and it's another chip forward, and Paul taps it down. What? That was not expected. So he chipped it forward, it was on the touchline, and for whatever reason Yellow Shoes tried to keep it in bounds, lost his balance. The ball didn't go to where he wanted it to go, so it just ended up at Paul's feet again. So he just chipped it into the area and converted. What a fantastic individual effort! Very similar to Francis's try, maybe slightly less, of a wow factor, because that was really quite something. But this is nevertheless a very, very good try, and Paul's probably quite chuffed for for taking advantage of that pretty bad mistake. So Geert makes yet another conversion, and that's a pretty good representation of how he's been playing all season. He's only missed one today, and it's really the final minutes in this game, and I see a lot of smiles on the faces, both on and off the pitch. People are pretty chuffed with how they've been playing. And you know what? I'm happy too. So ready to get things underway for probably one final time. A nice high kick, goes just long enough, but unfortunately it's dropped by Ticho, who doesn't quite make the catch. But nevertheless, the ball's gone down, and it's a Nieuwegein ball. They try the pick and go, they don't get anywhere. Wrestled down by Marloes. Unfortunately, Bos was not given enough window to pull for the ball, but he got close and almost goes out there. And Ball makes a good, important tackle there on the side. They try to shift and go, but it didn't quite. It worked a bit better than I initially thought. And they continue with the pick and go, and I think they're going to continue all the way to the line here, but they're driven back. They're driven back, and it's really good. And so they have to go to the back line now, and it's balls up, and Bos comes away with the ball, and Inigo just doesn't quite manage to shake his opposite man, who takes him high and wrestles him down, and but Wouter is there on the side, and he's got Francis outside him, and unfortunately the ball's popped loose in contact, and it's being contested, but it looks like it's been secured by Nieuwegein, who run the ball around the side, possibly by Santa Claus, and they continue with the pick and go, but they're driven back, and Adrian, although he didn't make the tackle, did gain Thor a few meters, but that's been reversed by some good dancing, I suppose, by the Nieuwegein side, and they make a few meters, but it's slow ball and they didn't release, so it's going to be a Nieuwegein ball. So Thor didn't release in the tackle, and he runs it hard, but it's held up. And it's going to be, they're furious, and the referee's going to have a word here. Referee, that is not respectful to the referee at all. We hate seeing that. So, quite rightly, the referee is not pleased. Looks like the man from Nieuwegein is increasingly angry. And the player continues to show some attitude. It's not. This isn't rugby. You don't show attitude to the ref like that. So they're having a discussion. It's looking a little better, and it's just going to be a scrum down. Not much time left. The referee is now looking at his watch. So just time for a few more plays, a few more phases. I mean. And it is Nieuwegein's ball. So, whatever all that was, I don't know if I'll ever know. Not sure what it was all about, but a good scrum there by Thor. And, looks like illegal use of the feet in the scrum. My apologies. So it's Nieuwegein get another shot, and it's a slightly better shot because they're going to take the tap, and they get it to Santa Claus, and Santa Claus runs it hard, gets rid of a couple men, but loses the ball in contact, and it's chipped back into the backfield, and Yellow Shoes has the ball now, and he's going to try and take it, but he is really not being able to play because he makes his decisions really last minute, and his offload's been poor, and yeah, he's just not really been able to play, I'm pleased to say. And he's slow getting back up, so on top of that, I think he's just really quite frustrated. That's the main thing. And he's feeling every little bump, I'm pleased to say. I don't know why I'm so pleased to see him struggle to play, but there it is. He was a threat in the last game. He played very, very well against us. And so I guess I'm pleased to see that he wasn't able to play today. And anyway, he's going to have another chance here. And he does well. And he's wrestled down by Wouter, who just misses the pilfering. But Geert's got the ball, and he dances, and he gets rid of them, and he's going to go. And he gets it to, I believe that's Heine, and Heine presents the ball to Ball, and Ball to Marloes, and Marloes with the handoff goes a few meters. They are clawing at him and grabbing every limb to try and stop him. And they're not rolling away, and it's going to be a quick tap. Nieuwegein try to slow it down as much as they dare, and coach is encouraging his players not to give Nieuwegein an inch because they don't deserve an inch, and that's going to be it. A great win by Thor. Get it, Thor! Yes! We are pleased with that result. Great game. I think that's a victory for the forwards, for the backs. Coach, I mean, everybody brought their A game today. Signs of absolute happiness from the Thor side. Complete frustration from the Nieuwegein side, but you know, that's what you get. That's what you get when you refuse to play rugby. Maybe that's a little bit harsh, but fuck it. Very happy with that result. Very happy with that result. And a great game. I'm sure a lot of people will be thanking the referee for how he managed this game. He was really very fair and good in communication. So, anyway. Overall, great game of rugby today. Yes, guys, get in!